Fala pessoal, iniciando mais um início de gameplay. Pessoal, se você é novo no canal, se inscreve, ativa o sininho, deixa o like, compartilha, comenta, e trazendo mais um início de gameplay pra vocês. Vou deixar um link aí de um canal aí na descrição, se vocês puderem dar uma força, tamo junto. O jogo chama King's Quest. Vamos dar um OK. Capítulos, galeria. Capítulos. Vamos começar aqui no 1 aqui. Parece bem interessante o game. Vamos lá. Tem nada. Dá uma volta aqui. Temos que descer isso aqui, é isso? E descer pela corda.
I had not been back there in years, but it was the last place left to look.
Tá fechado. Opa. Passagem secreta.
It was not exactly as I remembered it, but it wasn't all that different either.
Opa, pulou.
Two odd contraptions guarded the lost treasure. I would have to turn one and see what happened.
Bom, deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui. Caralho.
And that's what would have happened if I turned the left.
Continua do outro lado. Porra, outra armadilha, cara. Era armadilha, velho.
Buckets, barrels, butter churns, and beds were jammed into every nook and cranny of that cave. It all seems so familiar. Even though the bed was very comfortable, this was no time to hide under the covers.
Wait. Hold on, Grandpa. I don't remember remember this part of the
Deitou
story.
no negócio.
Beds hanging from stalactites.
We'll get there, Gwendolyn. Don't worry.
So
No
deitou só
detail
pra
of the
zoar.
story will be overlooked. Now, where was I? Ah, yes.
Tem uma
As I
caverna,
treaded
cara.
through the river of rumbling trundles, I feared I
Caverna
knew the
secreta.
source of that deafening wind. Nestled beneath a slumbering pile of teeth and claws
Ew.
was...
Fabled mirror.
Oh,
Nossa,
so you
dragão.
remember this part of the story.
Well, dragons are my favorite.
Do you want to tell this part?
Yes. King Edward sent me, the greatest knight in all of Daventry, on a quest to return his stolen mirror. A gigantic, hulking beast of a dragon was the last thing in my way to... My way too.
Add a shinier hat to my collection.
Bom, até agora eu não vi o que tem na minha mochila. Não tem nada.
I tried to turn that crazy contraption, but it was missing a handle. Someone tampered with it, creating some silly conundrum.
Por aqui não vai dar certo. Ah,
As I was saying, this was no time to take a nap.
dorme não, cara.
So, the missing handle was booby-trapped? What did you do?
Well, I used my cleverness to outsmart the trap. Then I used my cleverness to
Isso.
hide.
Nossa, o dragão tá vindo.
And that's how I knew the dragon.
Ah, fiz alguma coisa de errada.
Volumes of old books with foreboding titles clutter the shelves of that strange bedroom. How to Tame a Dragon, Breaking the Spirit of Hideous Beasts, Amateur Spells to Impress Your Friends with. No books about recovery.
So, the missing handle was booby-trapped? What did you do?
Well, I used my cleverness to outsmart the trap.
Cara, tem que sair daqui agora.
Then I used my cleverness to hide. Luckily, that
tinha
half-blinded
que
beast
deitar ali.
never noticed me in bed.
A dragon's eye must be really hard to pierce with an arrow. At archery lessons, I can barely hit a hay bale.
It is indeed a feat only for skilled archers. I tried to turn that crazy contraption, but it was missing a handle. Someone tampered with it, creating some silly conundrum.
Bom, tem que achar o que tem que fazer, cara.
Volumes of old books with foreboding titles clutter the shelves of that strange bedroom. How to Tame a Dragon, Breaking the Spirit of Hideous Beasts, Amateur Spells to Impress Your Friends with. No books about recovering missing handles, though.
Tem que usar isso aqui.
What did you use to...
Aí. Caramba, com uma dessa o dragão voltou, cara.
The dragon's chains were coiled around a gigantic switch mounted to the cave
Ele
wall.
tá preso. Calma, o que tem
This
aqui?
cave seemed to be filled with failed adventures. This cave seemed to be filled with failed
Morreu gente, né?
adventures.
Lutando contra o dragão.
After he briefly basked in the sun, the narcoleptic dragon went back to snoring.
I probably sleep all day too, if Amira was my only friend.
Tem alguém aqui. Ah, isso aqui vai me matar se bater em mim, que é cheio de espinho. Nossa. Acordou. Eu não posso pisar nesse negócio aqui, senão o dragão acorda. Caralho.
Wait a minute.
Acertaram uma flechada no olho dele. Vamos ver como a gente vai fazer isso. Devagar. Caiu aqui. Cama. Não cegou ele não. Subi a escada.
Whoever designed this trap Thought they were pretty clever, but I would probably find a way to hit that unreachable switch.
E agora? Tem que descer isso aqui. Que eu encontrei. Um arco e flecha. Tem que acertar em algum lugar. É aqui? Aí. Eu não posso ficar com arco e flecha? Bom, conseguimos. Vamos lá.
The mirror called out to me. A ridiculous feeding contraption was cobbled together to keep the beast and probably its owner alive.
De novo. Eu vou precisar disso lá? Acho que não. Precisa disso aqui. Ih, endoidou, cara. Bugou. Ah, entendi. Caramba. Isso aí. fazendo alguma coisa de errado. Vou apertar 2 vezes. Aí. Agora foi. Ih, ele me comeu, cara. Ah, tem o sino. Entendi.
A ridiculous feeding contraption was cobbled together to keep the beast and probably its owner alive.
É comida, cara. Ele tá comendo. Vou fazer outro. Aí. Só pegar o bagulho. Cara, agora eu vou correr dele. Ah, morri.
Let me guess.
Vou ver se é difícil.
Let me guess.
Aí. Morri de novo. Boa. botão. Fácil. Acertei na cabeça dele. Aí.
With the magic mirror safely in my possession, I dreamt of the Daventry I would be rewarded with, and the kingdom it could become. In that split second, I had three choices in front of me. Any would clear my path to safety, and all would have rippling consequences.
Ah, vou ter que acertar. Aí. Aí, foi embora.
My hands were shaking and my arms could barely grip the rope, but with the last of my strength, I climbed out of the well and headed back to the castle. Ever since the magic mirror returned, its reflections have warned the kingdom of danger, kept our family safe, and it has exposed many troublesome crumbs tangled in my beard.
Yeah. King Edward was so proud that you returned his lost treasure that he made you king. Everyone knows that part. Now, can we get back to that dragon?
Gwendolyn, there is so much more to my stories than dragons. I hope this old cap will be remembered for far more than the action tattered across its brim, sewn into the seams of many hidden adventures. All right, let's get back to the dragon.
Tell me everything. Like, why did you set the dragon free even though he was trying to eat you?
I set him free because, well, over the years I realized that the dragon was not the despicable, hideous beast Daventry had made him out to be. He was just a caged animal that was never shown any kindness. On that day, I forgave the dragon for his atrocious past.
You have such a bizarre way of making friends, Grandpa. I guess I do too. I'm known as Gwendolyn the Popular back home. But only to my stuffed bunnies.
I've always found it best to pursue friends where I can, though they don't always feel the same about me.
All right, you two. Grandpa needs to rest. Gwendolyn, it's way past your bedtime.
Sleep well, Grandpa. I'll be back first thing in the morning.
I don't need rest. I'm as spry as I've ever been, though I wouldn't mind a slice of magic fruit.
Legal, cara.
You're free!
Roar! Well, hello, cousin.
Guard!
I'm glad you're finally here. He's been asking about you for days. I had to sit through the same story 5 times.
Got here as fast as we could. And I like grandpa stories, especially the ones with dragons.
Ah, yes, the legendary beast that he set free. I don't know if he forgets I've heard that story before or he doesn't care, but he loves telling it to anyone that will listen. I'm pretty sure I heard the nursemaids telling his same jokes in the hall.
Have you heard anything the doctors are saying?
Yes, doctors, wizards, magic elves. Grandfather is fine, Gwendolyn. They all say the same thing. He's just old. He still has a few good years left. Look, we're all excited that your family made the trip, but there's no need to worry. You should get some rest. I'm sure you're scheduled for a full morning of Grandfather's hilarious ramblings.
Oh, I'm also scheduled for the tournament tomorrow.
Ah, yes, the fencing tournament. You'll love it. I'm, of course, favored to win, and will make sure you have the very best seat to view my victory. The courtyard will be filled with important people and delicious hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, I'm actually competing in the tournament.
I had no idea we were hosting a junior tournament. That's incredible. In that case, I will gladly be there to cheer you on and eat delectable appetizers.
Nope, no junior tournament. I'll be squaring off against you.
I see. Well, perhaps this is the time to stop listening to stories and finally make some of your own. Good night, Gwendolyn. Sleep well.
Come in, Gwendolyn. You can set those on the nightstand.
Grandma said to take 3 spoonfuls of each.
I'll get to those. No need to fuss over me. Now, let's talk about far more important issues, like that fencing tournament. I hear you're competing.
Well, I signed up, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Nonsense. If it's Scott you're worried about, he's no bother. After all, I only learned that you entered after he complained about it all morning. Threatened, I'm guessing. There are many ways to win a duel. I, for one, have always been fond of... treating my opponents with respect. You'll be surprised what opens up to you. A lovely fellow once told me the fastest way to anyone's heart is through their stomach. Speaking of, that reminds me of a story. One I know you haven't heard before. When I was a much younger lad, before I was a knight, before I'd been to Daventry, and even before I had seen a dragon. It's a tale about a tournament that changed my life. It is a long story, but I shall tell it briefly.
Well, Triumph, this looks as good a place as any to camp for the night. Let's rest up. We have a big day tomorrow.
Coelhos. Nossa, bater na pedra, ó. Que
After gracefully rappelling down the cliff, I welcomed the sight of an actual road, the first sign of civilization.
Pra cá tem o quê? Pra cá tem o quê? É. Cara, que historinha bacana, mano.
Hey! Over here!
I could have sworn the parade of hopeful knights was scheduled for the next day. I should have been with them, marching with triumph. It seemed my first few minutes in Daventry were off to a terrible start.
So, how did you catch up with them?
Strange tracks blazed a trail through the forest.
Cara, o jogo é bem simples e muito bonito. Pessoal, a gente já vai encerrar, tá, pessoal? Vocês fizeram uma série completa desse jogo aí. Só deixar nos comentários.
I wondered what those birds needed a toolbox for. Shame. The only tool left seemed to be a small hatchet. And no, Gwendolyn, before you start asking me thousands of questions about that hatchet, I did not go around using it on everything. There was no reason to chop down that perfectly good tree.
Bom, pessoal, então a gente vai encerrar. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Eu achei bem bacana o jogo, achei bem legal mesmo. Ele é bem simples, mas tem uma história muito boa. Gostei de verdade mesmo, é um dos que eu vou jogar inteiro com certeza. Talvez não no canal, mas vou conhecer um pouco mais da história. Achei bem bacana mesmo.
That odd horn seemed to be missing some sort of mouthpiece.
Achei bem bacana mesmo, pessoal.
Grandpa, you can't leave Triumph.
Don't worry, Triumph can fend for himself. We've been through our share of sticky situations, but he always comes around when I need him most. After all that graceful repelling, I was certainly not headed back that way.
Bom, então é isso aí, pessoal. Até o próximo vídeo. Falou!